I have one of my favorite people today. Barry, you're a fellow fourth-degree knight, okay? You like politics, you like fun. You've got your mother and your father, I assume. Is that who it is?
My uncle.
And you've got your uncle outside here. And we both checked our DNA references, so we're looking good. Barry, how about, first of all, let's introduce you please to the community.
I'm Barry Donadio. I'm a proud Queen Anne's County resident. I'm originally from New York, and I bought a house here in 2003, and I live here on Kent Island. And been happy ever since. I'm president of a private security and investigation firm called Public Security LLC. I'm sure you've seen us at one of the beaches in the summer.
You're everywhere.
We're everywhere. But we protect Queen Anne's County beaches at the behest of Parks and Recreation. And we've been honored to serve the county and work with the county residents and everybody visiting the county in the summer.
And every time we, as you know, I work with the sheriff. I help the sheriff twice a day a week. And every time we'd run into your folks, fantastic. And we're going to talk about them in a second, but first of all, I got to stop. Anytime I have, New York is my favorite city. I know. I want you to know it eats me up. No, I every year go, here's my New York experience. Every year, and very often with Queen Anne's County Park and Rec, when they have it, go to New York. I have a light lunch at Sardi's, which for me, I'm looking for celebrities, and they're going, Fred, there ain't no celebrities here at lunchtime. And then we go to the kiosk and buy tickets to the play. And then we get another meal afterwards. And then we cruise around. I think there's an M&M store. We're downtown New York. I love New Yorkers. Tell me where you're from in New York.
I was born and raised on Long Island in Suffolk County.
And that's where your mom, who's with it, and uncle?
That's exactly where she's living in Ronkonkoma right now.
Okay, all right.
And some of the viewers probably know about these places I'm mentioning. There's more and more New Yorkers I'm seeing on Maryland's Eastern Shore.
Yeah. Mike Bell, who's the supervisor for the Board of Education for Queen Anne's County. He's, his New York ties, but now, Barry, you love this guy. He wears always a leather jacket. He's got more gold on him than Fort Knox, and he's got this accent. I know a guy, Fred. Be quiet. I love this guy.
Yeah, I have lost a little bit of the accent.
No, you got it, though. Good. Keep it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it.
When I'm in public.
Keep it.
If I let it really out,
it's a good accent.
You will need a translator. Nobody will understand me on the show.
Now, are you a Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets fan, or not a sports fan, or what?
You know, my mother has raised me to be a Mets fan.
Oh, good for her. So I like the Mets.
I'm a Mets fan. She's got Mets stuff all over her
car. Good for her. Good for her.
And yeah, so we would go to Shea Stadium.
Okay.
And see the
amazing Mets.
The amazing Mets.
Come on, that's my team. How about Giants and Jets?
You know, I don't really watch football.
It's okay.
But
You're
my
smart.
grandfather was a Giants fan.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, New York City, I want you to know, for this country bumpkin, 12 hours, I have the time of my life, spend more money than my wife wants to hear.
That's right.
But you know what? That city will eat you up if you don't know what you're doing, but it's a glorious city.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. New York City is really making a huge comeback.
Oh, I think it's great now.
There are all new buildings there now. There's an economic boom going on. There's new faces, new places, all sorts of stuff.
And it's great, and it's safe, and it's safe.
And there's something, and I don't know if maybe they're changing the emissions in the vehicles. It is a quieter city somehow. Yes, we were just up there 2 weeks ago and right in the heart of Manhattan. It seemed to be quieter than it used to be when we were kids.
Well, you know where Sardi's is, and you know about Sardi's. I want you to know, imagine a country bumpkin like me going there, all the pictures on the walls, and I love it. There's a guy, there's a waiter just to serve the tea. There's a waiter just to give you muffins, and it's just great. And we're sitting at the table. Look who's over there.
And then we know that you're from out of town because you're walking around like this.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. All right, let's leave New York City. Well, first of all, congratulations from being there. I love the Big Apple. I love it. It's a great city. Now, do me a favor. You had a wonderful. Let's honor a couple people here before we talk about the business. You had a wonderful employee at the Heritage Center down at Kent Narrows. And a little background, I'll do it real quick. This particular woman, I believe, was from Baltimore. Sicily? Where was she from?
She's actually originally from Sicily.
Okay.
And she came to live the American dream when she was in her 20s. So
and the
she
most
immigrated to the United States, yes.
Very the most helpful. Bill and I'm in my 70s, and Bill was a little bit older than I. She would help us lift bikes, because, you know, she was sitting in the parking lot there. She would help us lift bikes on our car. And the way she would help people when they parked in, because, you know, a lot of people go into the trail, Kent Island Trail. Where do I go? She was perfect. She would get maps. But tell me the sad story about her.
So Liliana had worked for our company for many years,
Okay.
and she was one of our very positive employees.
Oh, great
One
person.
of the best we had.
Yes.
I don't think she's ever called out sick or come late in her entire
No,
career
but-
with us. So for any business, this is the kind of person you want. And she projected positivity.
Oh, and she always talked
everywhere
about
she
positive,
went.
but you and your wife, I mean,
Yeah,
we get down there and say, what
she
is that
loved-
bum Barry doing? She
Yeah.
said,
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
McNeil,
Yeah.
Barry is a very good boss.
And she was wonderful. What
Yeah.
else can I say? So yeah, this summer she was working again with us, and she had gotten ill
With COVID.
and with the COVID, and the price we pay. We don't know where we contract this. It could
Ooh,
have
she
even
was
been
always in the
anywhere. She
public.
was always in the public.
Oh, yeah?
She was going to work Labor Day at the beaches for us. She was
Okay.
going to actually work at Terrapin Park.
Okay.
And she became sick a week before.
Oh, my goodness.
And then she was hospitalized, and she began her
What a
battle against
wonderful
COVID.
person. What a loss for
Yeah.
her family and your company.
A loss, a personal loss for me, my family, an irreplaceable person for my company.
She was a walking billboard for your company.
She was a walking encyclopedia. She was very brilliant, and she spoke many languages.
Oh, did
too.
she? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she obviously
How,
Italian.
yeah, but how
English.
old was she? Was she 50s?
52.
52.
52, but we have many Latino visitors to our beaches now.
Okay, she could do the Spanish.
She can speak fluent Spanish, and
Terrific.
it made a lot of people feel comfortable seeing a security officer out there, and she was able to navigate
Always
even
met-
German,
yeah.
French, English, Spanish, and I can do Italian, Spanish, and English, and maybe a little tiny bit of Arabic,
Okay.
but she can master all those languages. So
Well, I'm
anybody
very
who
sorry
showed
for
up-
the company and the family's loss.
Yeah,
Look at what a fantastic. And then you also, I believe, correct me, 3 other people passed from your company?
Yes, yes. So behind the scenes of when you see one of our vehicles or you see one of our
Right.
people on post, there is a price to pay. The heavy price, this is our 4th employee this year that we've lost. We have some great people that are irreplaceable, and from a business point of view, it's tough to dig out of that.
Well, my condolences to
loss,
the company
yes,
and if they were anything like this wonderful woman at the Heritage Center, just great
They were
people.
we bring on people that are positive and not in a negative light. Everybody is very outgoing, kind, and we look to serve the community. We're a force for good, and positivity is our number one thing. So we have former retired Baltimore City police officer,
Okay.
John Peace, was with our company, and he had passed away earlier this year.
COVID
Tremendous
also?
loss. No, that was another natural cause.
Oh, okay.
But terrible. And his wife will be joining us for the parade.
Oh, wow.
So,
Centerville
yeah.
Parade.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
She'll be with
you're-
in our car.
well, let's do this. Let's switch gears a little
Okay.
bit. First, let's stop. And tell me about the company. I mean, Barry, what do you run? I know you're busy. Your wife's, when I go down there, well, Barry's at this place, my wife's at this
We're all over the place.
So
We're all over.
who
we're
are
also-
you and what do you do?
So, Public Security LLC, private investigation security firm. We also teach firearms. And
Okay.
we teach
Firearm
the community
safety and how to use them.
firearm
Okay.
safety. The handgun qualification license here in Maryland is required for our class to get a pistol in the state of Maryland. So we're hot and heavy with that. We get a lot of exposure with that. And we teach these classes at the American Legion in Stevensville at
Okay.
least once a month.
All right.
And if the demand rises, we do even more.
So, and the public can take part of
public
this.
can take
If
part in
someone's
that.
out watching and say, well, first of all, how do they get, if someone says, as we keep talking here, how do we get in touch with you? Is there a phone number we can call,
Google
a
me.
website? Oh, okay, okay.
You can find me very easily on the internet or
Okay.
Public Security LLC.
Okay.
Literally, if you're anywhere in the world and type my name in or
We're gonna-
my
we're gonna-
company,
you're gonna
there
pop
it
up
is
the
right
company.
there.
Okay.
You will find a way to get to us very easily. Even I have my cell phone. It's public. I can
Okay.
receive a call from anybody right now.
Do you know it off the top of your head? Your phone number?
I sure do.
Please, put it out.
202-631-1153. That's my personal cell phone.
Okay,
I'm
and
a
you don't mind people
public
calling?
person, and give me a
Okay.
call if you ever need anything.
So
or
if I want to call you, you do firearm safety or how to use firearms. You do private investigative work?
private investigations,
And
private
security
security,
work.
and executive security or executive protection.
Now
is
tell
a
me the
big-
difference between each. Just, I mean,
Well, private security would be maybe standing post, protecting property or a
okay,
location
okay. So in
from
front of a
theft
business
or
something.
misfortune.
Okay,
And then executive protection would be like a bodyguard.
okay.
Like if you have a specific threat or
Okay.
an issue, and then we protect you. The
My
person-
wife might call you, so be careful.
You'd be surprised at the phone calls.
I don't want to know. I don't
Yeah,
okay.
we do get that, and I protect a lot of Maryland politicians.
Do you really?
Yes, absolutely.
Or elected leaders?
Yes.
Statewide? Oh, wow,
Yes,
very interesting. Are you allowed to mention any of them or no?
No.
No, okay, nuts, okay,
But
all right.
somebody you know, we protect. I can
You're
tell you
kidding
that.
me? Oh,
Absolutely.
very good.
So
Matt.
I brought my time in the U.S. Secret Service protecting presidents.
We'll talk about that. I know you can talk
Yeah.
about it. When were you in the Secret Service?
From 2002 to 2010.
Okay, now, was that Bush? Who was our president?
That was President Bush and then President Obama. And I
Now-
also was on the campaign trail with, remember, Senator John McCain and,
Oh,
and
yes.
Palin.
Wonderful man.
Yes, so I was on.
Tragically a POW, tragically
Yes.
he's passed, but
Yes.
I think a very interesting
Great man he was.
Okay.
Very great man.
Now, what got, I mean, from a kid, did you see a movie, a Kevin Costner's movie? What drove you to this particular area?
Well, a little bit of a long story.
Please.
I was in the U.S. Secret Service, or I should say, I was in the Air Force first.
Okay, now it's Air Force.
Okay, Army, then Air Force.
Okay, are you in both branches?
Both branches.
Well,
and
thank you for serving.
Thank you.
I was
Thank
in
you
the
for letting me.
Army.
You're worth
They
it,
would,
by
they
the
wouldn't
way.
let me in any other branch. Believe me, I'm such a bad soldier.
They probably wouldn't let me back in now. I'm getting too old. But I'm here to say everyone watching is worth it. I said that to a veteran once. I said, thank you for your service. It was a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
And he said, you're worth it. And I said, well,
It's a
oh my
different
God,
answer.
that was
That's good.
so nice to say, and now I've taken that as well.
Okay.
So
now, what did you do? Army first or Air Force first?
Army infantry, Army
Oh,
military
you were 11
police.
Bravo in
Yes,
the
sir,
Army.
11 Bravo.
Well, thank you. Definitely
And
thank
I wouldn't
you.
be the person I am today if it
Okay.
wasn't for 11 Bravo.
Now,
infantry.
did the Air Force get you intelligence and security, or what were you in the Air Force?
So I did security police.
Okay,
Okay, so I went from infantry, military police in the Army.
MP.
And then MP. And then I went to the Air Force. There was a base in West Hampton, New York.
Okay.
The 106 Rescue Wing, which is a great organization there.
And they rescue down people lost in mountains and
Yes,
stuff
yeah,
like
and
that?
we were
Okay.
the police force for that
Oh,
base.
that base.
That base,
okay.
and we also deployed too.
Okay. They used to tell me in the Army, two people you want to be friends with, the cook and the MPs. So,
That's correct.
I mean, hey, you get fed and
And the
protected.
MPs never messed with the cook.
No, it was-
so
it
I
was
guess the
unwritten
cook
rule.
is the king there.
Okay.
That's correct.
So let's go back. Army, where were you stationed? Stateside?
Yeah, I
or-
was guardsman, and then
Oh, National Guard,
and then
okay.
Army Reserve. So I
Okay.
was, boy, a long time ago. I joined December 29th, 1987.
Okay.
So I like to call that the old Army.
Okay. I was in 66 to
so
9.
that's the real old Army.
Let me tell you,
That's-
we were riding horses. I was in the Cal. No, I
Well,
wasn't.
so we respect the guys that were in before us.
It was different.
My uncle that's here backstage there is Vietnam era.
Well, thank you. We'll talk
soldier,
Vietnam
yeah.
after the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
We're good.
absolutely.
So you got into, so you're into MP work, security work. So where did that lead?
So
How'd
then,
the business come about?
So really, I guess logistics. So the Army infantry was in Patchogue in Suffolk County, New York, where there was an armory.
Okay.
And I wanted to move into law enforcement, and I did. So I
So
got
you-
into the
Now,
military
is that
police
something as a
brigade.
kid or what?
I think that started early in the Boy Scouts
Okay.
when I started shooting guns when I
Okay.
was 12.
All right. That's good. That's an
Yeah,
attraction. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong
yeah.
with that.
So the problem was the military police battalion was in Queens, New York. It was
Oh,
quite a
my
drive.
goodness.
So yeah, I went through, completed all the training, and
Okay.
became an MP. And
Oh, good.
I was still very young. I was in my 20s, early 20s, and it was tough.
You're a
to
young
be
man. Yeah.
Driving back and forth, as you know, young men kind of have cars that aren't so reliable, and I was one of them. And I said, well, let me try this. And there was openings at the West Hampton base.
Okay.
On Long
So you
Island
transferred to there,
I went
okay.
down there, went through security police school with the Air Force, did that, and I ultimately became an investigator.
Oh, you
and
became an
ultimately led a
investigator.
SWAT team.
Now that was Air Force?
Air Force.
Okay. I was going to say,
And
the
that was
Army
great.
had the MI, military intelligence.
Right.
Now, what did the Air Force? Do they call it the MI?
They have OSI, and I
OSI.
wasn't that. I was a criminal investigator
Oh, okay,
there.
so
For
different.
the Air Force, yeah.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
more
like
on
the
the criminal
CID
side.
in the Army, criminal
Correct,
Okay, okay,
correct.
Very good.
So that, and I did the SWAT team. We got specialized
SWAT
training,
team,
and we
okay.
went to FBI SWAT school, and became a.
So you got some good training.
Oh
The
yeah,
best,
absolutely. The
best.
local police department, Suffolk County Police. I credit. They did a lot for us in the military there at the base. Wonderful organization. FBI. I'm a certified FBI sniper
Oh, you really?
from back then, yeah.
So now did that put you right
That
in the Secret
propelled,
Service? Okay.
obviously, all these things help. So back then, President Clinton would visit that base, fly into that base.
You kidding me?
and
Because
so
he had his home in. Oh no, that was.
he would visit people in.
I don't want to know who he
Hamptons.
visited.
Yeah, I would imagine. You know,
Okay.
he would have.
Well, he'd actually fly in there.
him
And you had
and
to be
Hillary
security.
Clinton. Yes.
Oh, okay. all
So
right.
we protected his
Make sure it was
arrival,
safe to land and take off.
and then Air Force One would stay at the base, and
Okay.
which
Oh,
we would
wow.
protect, which was
Do you have
pretty.
pictures of Air Force One? That'd be
I do.
pretty cool. Oh, do you
I do.
really? Oh,
Oh,
next
yeah.
time you come on, I want
do.
to. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that propelled you into a full-time job with Secret Service, or how?
So here's how it happened
Okay.
between me, you, and the rest of the
Oh,
world.
it's okay.
there.
No
So,
secrets on this show now.
No secrets on this show. So he would fly in periodically, and along with Vice President Al Gore.
Okay.
Okay, so that was a great honor to be
Sure.
a part
President of the
of.
United States and Vice President of the United States.
Yeah, and they're flying into your base, and your police at the base. So we did a lot, quite frankly.
Okay.
We worked with the Secret Service, with a bunch of great guys.
So you start meeting people.
You meet people.
Okay.
So the way I remember it is I was going to take a vacation to D.C., and I said, hey, maybe these guys can get me a tour of the White House while I'm down there.
Yeah. Why not?
And they sure did.
Oh wow.
They sure did. Great.
And they got
One-
your job. It
And, well,
sounds
they
like.
pitched me then. Here's how it came. So one gentleman that was assigned to give me a tour, he said, hey, you should come work with us. I said, I'm not going to come down here and work
Yeah, I
with
don't
you
wanna come to
guys.
DC,
And
come
I was
on.
making a pretty good buck up there in
Okay.
Long Island as well.
All right.
And I had a private...
It's home. That was your home.
It was
New York.
home.
New York State.
I never would even think of coming down.
No.
I didn't take it seriously, and I got the application, took it home, and I think I left it on my desk for a
Mom
month.
made you fill
A
it out,
month.
probably. Of
No,
course.
she had nothing to do with it. Okay. But I think, quite frankly, one day I was just like, let me fill this out.
Why not?
put it in.
Why not?
And then they gave me a call.
You hired like that because
not,
of your.
Not like that.
Oh.
I'll tell you, it was a process. It
Oh,
took
they
about
had
a
to.
year.
They had to go through all the investigation.
Top secret security clearance.
Yes, you are.
So polygraph examination.
You had to go to D.C. for this, or what?
No, actually, a lot of people don't believe this, but I had to go to the World Trade Center.
You kidding me?
World Trade Center,
Oh,
number
wow.
7 had, we had an office, Secret Service
Okay.
office
Okay.
there.
Yes, they did.
It's
Yeah.
now gone. So all of my processing, medical,
Oh, right in the
testing
city, right in the
was
city.
right there.
Okay.
So I was there literally 2 months before the towers came down.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I can't help
Another show we'll talk about that. but
Another
no.
show,
So
yes.
anyway, how long did it take from the application being sent?
about a
that-
year and a half.
Oh, it took a good. Ooh, they really did
Yeah.
check you out.
Yeah.
Now then, you had to move to D.C. or what? What happened next?
Yes. So
Okay.
once I
That's where I was born and raised, just so you know. So
In
be
DC?
careful how you
Okay.
treat D.C. I'm not
Oh,
going to
DC 's
sing
great.
"Hail to the Redskins" or anything. All right. Okay.
DC is great. You know. So
Where'd you live in D.C.? I mean, where'd you live in D.C.?
never lived there.
Oh, okay.
Just worked there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So got the position and was assigned directly at the White House. And
White
so
House.
Before you
And
know
that's
it,
the best,
standing
isn't it?
outside the Oval Office protecting President Bush.
You kidding me?
Still couldn't believe it.
Now, would he acknowledge you or no? What's the
President
relation?
Bush is a great guy. First, let me say, for
Please.
whatever political party you're
Yeah,
on,
and we don't
You
care.
see, both of those gentlemen were very good, very
Okay.
nice people,
Very polite.
very nice people.
Okay.
President Bush, President Obama.
Well, you're between
nice
them and bullets if necessary, right? They better be nice to you, right?
Yes, yes, and you know, believe you me, the United States Secret Service is the finest.
Is it a top-notch
organization-
group?
The finest organization in the
Oh,
world.
really? Okay.
They are the best. They even now, if I had a problem, I would probably call them.
You really, they're that good.
If Sheriff Hoffman couldn't help, I would call Sheriff Hoffman too.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong.
Gary's right
I
across
love
the street,
I love
okay.
the deputies here. I love the Sheriff's Department.
But these guys are the best of the best. And women. And
You,
women.
you better believe it.
Okay.
And I trust the U.S. Secret Service.
Constant
And
training and everything?
absolutely.
Okay. all right.
Absolutely. The finest and the highest training.
They're
you can
protecting the most important men and women, I think,
Absolutely.
certainly in this country, if not the world, right?
Yes.
Because when the visitors
absolutely.
come here,
Hands
you're
down,
there.
Hands down.
Now, let me ask you this.
They're the Navy SEALs of protecting. Let's
Yeah,
just say that.
that's a whole different group, right? Yeah,
A whole different
yeah.
group.
Let me ask you, what's the best part of being in the Secret Service in a White House detail? I mean, is there something you get extra good cookies or do you, good rides and cars?
There is. So when you're in the academy, there is a story where if you work in the White House, there's a kitchen, and sometimes they give you a White House cookie that they make there once in a while.
It's a
Cooks are nice.
special. It's a
So I waited many, many months. I never got no cookie. But one day, one cook came and said, "Hey, you want an extra one?"
Oh, wow.
And it melted in my mouth.
Oh, is that good?
You didn't even have to chew it. I
So
think
not only the best food for the president as well as the best security.
So the best food and the best security.
Now, what's the downside of the job? I mean, is it the hours or the locations or?
I think, yeah. So when you're in the U.S. Secret Service, you are devoting your entire life.
Is it a
to
24/7
that.
type deal?
It can be, yes.
Can be, yeah.
Theoretically, you're on duty 24 hours a
Okay.
day. So your life and everything you know is devoted to that. You're just that, and that's
Okay,
it.
okay.
There's no time for anything else.
Okay.
And people know that. It's hard to do 20 years.
Oh, I imagine.
That's
Is
tough.
that what it is? 20 years for the Secret
You
Service?
could retire in 20
20.
years.
Okay, so like the many police forces, that's enough pressure. 20 years. Well,
Yes.
how do they train? Barry? I've always wanted to know. How do they train you to put your body between another human being and take a bullet? I mean, that's what Secret Service are willing to do, as I understand it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Well, the idea is to live for the protectee, not die for the protectee.
Okay,
So
all right. Protect him.
Just
rescue him.
understand that you have security in ways that maybe aren't even seen on
Yeah,
the
we don't know
camera.
about,
You
yeah.
may see those people near him, but there's security, as you can
Okay,
imagine.
other things going on.
All over, all spectrums of security that are happening. So you could just imagine. So they seem, in my opinion, they recruit certain people that
Okay.
already have
Certain
kind of
skills.
a great credential
Okay.
file already. You know, I was leading a SWAT team at the time in the Air Force. So they're not necessarily recruiting certain people, but other
You're
people
not getting
that have
you're not
kinda
getting
like
a
some
guy who
credential.
majored in philosophy, probably from a college, who's never touched a weapon or anything.
You
or
would
do
be
they?
surprised at
Oh, really?
because college means a lot.
I'm
so
sure
a
it does,
four-year
yeah.
degree is very
Okay, so they want you to have. They'd like to
Yeah,
have
they
4
want to
years
have a
degree.
four-year degree, but if you
Okay.
have special skills, like I've already been a sniper
Okay.
and on a SWAT team, so at that point,
You
that,
had a
that
skill,
avenue,
yeah.
you know, so there are many avenues. But if you're a candidate, I highly recommend, if you're interested, contact them
Okay.
and give
It's
it
a
a try.
wonderful profession.
It is a wonderful profession, and it's something that I can live and talk about for the rest of my
And we're going
life.
to do a whole other show in the Secret
Well,
Service.
I'll be glad
okay.
to.
Now, let
Be
me
glad.
ask you this. Of course, we just tragically, November 22nd, we're remembering the death of John F. Kennedy. There's still, I mean, it's funny, the articles that came out, there's still a stigma. You tell me, there was still a feeling among many old Secret Service agencies that we let the team down. Now, you tell me, does that hang over the Secret Service? Did the Kennedy assassination, or it's not, I mean, is it an issue? Is it something?
Nothing that, I mean, I've never heard that.
I mean, in a
my
training
time.
session, they wouldn't say, we're never going to let that. No.
No,
No,
I've never heard
It's a media event.
anything
It's a
like
media
that.
thing.
I mean, yeah. Remember, things are much different in
Oh, sure.
security. Like secrets in the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force is like this too.
Okay.
The Air Force, or even the U.S. Secret Service that exists today, a week from now, has already transferred into something better.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's
These
constantly
organizations
improving.
change by the
Okay.
week.
And they have to, right?
That-
Because, yeah.
But that's wonderful. That is how we stay on top.
Well, good. That's the way it should
So
be.
we're always improving. So if there's any discrepancy, so if you look back at how security of a president was done, or let's talk about how security was done when Lincoln was
Okay.
alive.
Guy was at a
Used to be
theater
able
by
to walk-
himself, basically, right?
Well, from what I know,
Yeah.
well, no, he had protection.
Was there somebody
He had,
in
a New
there?
York-
Was
he
there
had a DC police officer with him, from what I
one
understand.
police officer?
And he had some others,
Okay.
supposedly.
But he took a carriage, didn't he, to the Ford Theater? If I read, maybe I'm wrong.
From the accounts I've read, he usually had 30 cavalry with him at all
Oh,
times.
so he was well protected.
So,
Okay. The Civil
yeah.
War, of course, or after the Civil War,
Yeah.
whatever.
But for instance, the security back with Lincoln, you used to be able to go and knock on the front door of the White House back then.
Okay.
And obviously
No,
we don't
no
do it.
way, no
Right,
way.
so
You
things
can't even
have
get
changed.
LaFont Plaza
now-
anymore.
So right, you can't even get into LaFont Plaza. So
Yeah.
if you just imagine now, apply that to Kennedy.
Okay.
Now, if we look at
So
what
it's obviously
Kennedy,
changed dramatically.
look at what the president drives in now.
Oh, yeah.
Look at what Kennedy was in.
Okay.
So we're not.
It's changed.
Yeah. So I can't imagine somebody.
They wouldn't put him on that
blaming-
parade route anymore. No, it wasn't
Yeah,
blame. It
or-
was just that I just read this article that's saying that there was this, within the profession itself, Secret Service is always a thing like, no Kennedys on my watch. No, that was a newspaper article, which means nothing.
Yeah,
Now, let me
nah,
ask you, because we're running out of time in a minute. When you're in the Secret Service, then we're going to remind everybody about your business. Where was the most interesting place you went? Was there a country or Bush's Ranch or something? Was there something that was?
Sure, I spent an extensive time at Bush's Ranch, which is
did
beautiful.
you? It was a beautiful,
Crawford.
yeah.
Yes, but
Okay.
I like the White House.
Oh, just being at the White
I
House.
love the history.
The history
I
of
love
it.
history. I love that, everything happened right there, and it really is the capital of the free world.
Okay.
It is. So
It's an honor
to
just
me,
to be there, right? Just to be in the building is
Yes,
an honor.
just to be on
Much
those
less
grounds.
working in the building, I would think.
Absolutely.
Now, how about did you have any hilarious incident, president slipping or someone, anything fun? They talk about with Governor O'Malley in Maryland. His little son used to walk in the pajamas and walk in on tours. And they turned to him, "Who are you and what are you doing here?" "Hey, my daddy's governor." I mean, anything like that in the White House? Or?
I'm trying to think of something that I might
It's
be able
okay.
to
Well,
talk
no,
about.
next time. Save that for next time.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let's do this. We only got a minute or two. Barry, let's remind everybody the name of your company.
Sure.
Go ahead, please.
So it's Public Security LLC, and county residents probably see our black cars with blue
Okay.
stripes says Public Security on the side.
Great. And if they want to get in touch with you,
202-631-1153, or you can
just type your name in and it's going to come up.
any search on any internet or Public Security LLC will come up.
And you provide individual security.
Private security, private investigations, armed security, executive protection, bodyguarding,
Okay.
and firearms training has been big. Americans want to have their firearms. They
Sure,
want to
okay.
exercise their Second Amendment rights.
And they have the right to do that.
They're seeking us out to
Okay.
get that.
Do you currently, are you like everybody else? Do you need people?
We always need people.
Okay.
We've lost 4 good people.
We
this
talked about
year.
at the beginning of
Yeah.
the show.
We've lost 4 very irreplaceable good people.
Okay.
And we're always looking for good people.
Oh,
that,
good. So if
want to
someone's
serve
watching this show and
Absolutely.
if they're interested in any one of those services, obviously call you. But if someone's saying, you know what, I have a background, I have an interest, also contact you.
Sure. Send a resume. That's the first step.
You're a
We
Queen
look
Anne's
at every
County
single one.
business. That's what the station's about. So we have no problem doing that. Well, Barry, look, my time's about up. How about we get you back in the future after your mom, get your mom's permission and your
Absolutely.
uncle's permission.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we'll talk about not only Secret Service. We'll talk a little more next show about firearms training, what you do, what people can expect.
Absolutely.
And I'm always interested in the executive. I know you can't mention names, but executive search. Having seen that great movie with Kevin Costner, do you remember that movie? I can't think of the title now. He was protecting a wonderful singer.
Bodyguard?
But something like that, yes. And I said, I want to do that. And then someone said to me, Fred, wimpy 5'7" guy, we don't want you there, right?
You won't want to do it when you get stuck somewhere 12 hours.
No.
Or you won't want to do it when there is real danger involved. It's very, very dangerous.
I'll be the first one they say, help. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
the
Barry, look,
potential's dangerous.
you have wonderful holiday season. Enjoy the holiday parade. Take care of your uncle and your mom, please, over the holidays.
do.
And how about in the beginning of the year next year? Let's get you back.
Sure.
And that shares, because you got great experiences. You're right here in Queen Anne's County. If people, especially in the summer, if they go to any of our beaches or any of our parks, they're going to see your people there
They will see
who are gracious and kind. And look, thank you from a person who volunteers with the sheriff. Your work has always been kind, helpful, not only to us, but I see what they do to other people. So thank you for
we
that.
take great pride in that.
And
Yes.
you should be proud of that, okay? Thank you. And again, happy holidays, okay?
You too. Thank you
Hi,
for
I'm
having
Fred McNeil again. My time's up. Thank you for your time, and we're going to see you next time.